Well, welcome to the next video in the NephewElite series where I teach my nephew to trade. In this series or this video will be introduction to candles. Tony, you got any initial thoughts before we jump in?
I'm not really sure what we're talking about here, but if it's like 50 Shades of Grey, I'll be a little weary. So if you're dripping wax on me, I'm not really into that type of stuff.
I don't know if we're going to get there. I mean, if you're lucky, maybe. So I haven't actually done that trading technique yet. But maybe we'll try it. So,
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, so you might get lucky.
All right.
I'll think about it. All right, so let's jump in. Let's get started. So, candlestick, they're called Japanese candlesticks, and there's different type of candlesticks. But in this video, you're going to learn an intro of how to read them just on a basic level.
Okay.
And then we're going to have more advanced of how to read candlestick charts. One of the reasons why candlestick charts are powerful because it gives you a lot of information that doesn't change on any time frame or the type of candlestick that you're using. That's not exactly true because there's different type of candlesticks that calculate things differently. But in general, there's an open, high, low, and close. So we're going to go to a picture here. And I'm going to share with you. So we're looking at candlesticks here. And you're going to be driving this in a second. So here's how this works. So on a green candle, green or red is the common colors you'll see in color charts. So sometimes you'll see black or hollow or black and white. But let's just go with green or red. So on a green candle, what that means is that, way to look at it, and I know I said don't use buyers, but there was more buyers in that candle than sellers. The bottom so see that what's actually part of the candle, that's called the body of the candle. Okay. So this green full area is the body. And on a green candle, this bottom part is always the open. That's where that candle opened. So on a 5-minute candle, this is 5 minutes in time, it opened at that price. And then the close is up here. Okay. Now it's the reverse on a red candle. So you'll see how the red candle, it opens here, and then it closes down here. Okay. So the most important price of a candle is the close. But these other aspects of the candle are important. What you'll be able to do once you get good at reading candles is you'll be able to look at a candle like this and you'll be able to reason how that candle formed. So for instance, what you'll see here is there's a high. That's the highest price that was traded within that candle. Okay. Now this is called an upper shadow, or it's called a wick. It's also sometimes people call it a rejection. But this is called an upper shadow. I like to call it a wick, so that's what we call it. But the way to look at this is that price sometime in this, let's say this is a 5-minute candle, went up to this high and then it closed down here. So that probably happened late in this candle because we also have a low. Okay. So the low and the high for both a red or green candle are the same because that's how they are. The only thing difference is that the open and close is reversed. Okay. That makes sense?
Yes.
So when we go over to a candlestick chart on Bitcoin, for instance, we're looking at a 1-hour time frame. So if you look at this, you can clearly see, and I'll have you do the same thing I'm going to do here. So this is the open of that candle here. See how it barely has any low on it? Just a little bit?
Yeah.
But here's the open, and then the close is up here. But see this high? So what happened in this candle is basically, towards the end of the candle, it got to a high, but then it sold off and it closed down here on this candle right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's the basics of reading an individual candle. Now the power in that is that you can look at charts and you can get a lot of information. You can see a high, you can see a low, you can see the open, you can see levels, you can see various things. And I'm going to borrow someone's image here, but there's credit here, so you can definitely look at it. One of the things that I don't necessarily think you have to learn, these names. I used to say it'd be nice to know these names, but you really don't. What you really just need to know is how to read candles effectively as far as applying rules to them. And you're going to learn all this here as we move in the system. But one of the things that there's patterns that you see time and time again in the market. And it's candlestick patterns. And sometimes they meet. So for instance, this is a 2-candle pattern like you see here. And then there's usually, the way to look at this is that these candles, they mean something, or they will maybe tell you that price is going higher or price is going lower. These patterns together. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you, or you're going to learn an advanced way to read candles where it's unnecessary to learn these names. You don't need to learn these names. It's nice to know. I'll give you a candlestick book. I give it to every trader that I teach in person. I'll give you a candlestick book, and it's great to know. I think if you're an expert in candlesticks, awesome. But at the end of the day, the concepts and the foundation you're going to learn how to read candles is going to be at such an expert level, you don't have to know any of the names because you're following a simple template and rules that's based on probabilities, based on patterns, and it's interpreted through the Rexdog trading system. Now, I know I said a lot of words there. So I think the best way to do this is actually, let's go to a 1 minute candle. And let's just watch it unfold.
Okay.
So you're going to get this. So this 1 minute candle, you can see over here, see this where it says 23? That means it has 22 seconds for this 1 minute candle. We're looking at 1 minute candles.
Okay.
And see how it's forming? See how it has a low? Mm-hmm. Where's the open at?
At the top right now?
Yeah. So this could still turn green. It's got 6 seconds to turn green, meaning it has to capture the open. Mm-hmm. If it does, then it will.
And so that top wick, as you called it, would now go to the top? Or right. It would go with the green all the way to the top if it kept going green?
Well, yeah. It's just the high. The way to look at those wicks is just the high and the low. So that's just the highest at that price in that candle, whatever candle that's representing time frame. That's the highest price it got. So obviously, if price gets above that and it closes above that, you're not going to have the wick anymore.
So it could continuously get higher and higher if it goes that price? Yeah,
it could. Like this candle here just kept going right here. This one here at 1958, 1959, it just kept going. But you'll see here, it's having a struggle getting over this kind of level here, but now it's trying to break through. But every time it tries, but it does have rejection on the bottom side. So really, this is reading candles 101. We could go down to 30-second candles, and then each candle would be 30 seconds. So I have the countdown on here. So this candle is going to close. I said the most important thing. So see how that candle just jumped up?
Oh, dang.
Yeah. Now the next candle opened. You'll see how it kind of opened like that. And now, I would say buyers, that there's more buyers than sellers. So when I say there's going to be specific times where I'm going to say you don't think about buyers or sellers in this situation. Mm-hmm. Because the reason why I shared that earlier is because there's certain times that it's smarter to be agnostic to what's going on and not thinking buyers or sellers. Mm-hmm. And I know some people will argue, but it's the smartest way to go because it makes you so that you're objective in your pricing.
Okay.
Or objective in what you're trading. Okay. So you'll see this here, that's 14 seconds. It's trying to close green. It's trying to take out this high of this previous candle here. So it's trying to take out this high right here. So if it closes above this high right here, that's on this green candle, it might go to this next level or this next high. But that's what it's trying to do. So now the next candle is forming. One of the ways to look at highs or these wicks are their rejections. Mm-hmm. So people use that, okay, it rejected from the high. It rejected from the low right here. Does that make sense?
Okay. So that would be like when buyers opted out or sellers opted out?
Well, the way to look at it is more sellers came into the market and sold it down. Okay. So a lot of buyers came up and then the sellers suddenly took control. So yes, looking at the market as buyers or sellers in the theory of, I'm drawing a blank. That's good. What I don't agree with is fair value and all these other terms that actually are meaningless because you'll learn, here's what's going to be really odd. And I'm just going to reiterate this. You're going to learn these concepts, but I'm also going to teach you how to think opposite these concepts because oftentimes the best trade is to go against a concept that everybody knows about. If everybody knows about a concept, then yeah, sometimes it works, but usually it's not the concept that you should be trading. I can't really explain that without showing it to you, okay? So you're going to learn, like I said before, what probably the few people that have commented like, okay, well, you're saying a lot of contradictory information. Yeah, because you're going to learn how the enemy thinks. But you're going to learn how to outsmart the enemy by thinking from an agnostic point of view, okay? Now, so you'll see that candle here. That's a good candle. It closed above this high. So that's one thing you'd look for is that, okay, now is it going to reject and is it going to sell off? Now we don't have any indicators on this chart, so we don't have. One thing that you do with candlesticks is that through the indicators in the Rexdog system, it helps you understand additional rules in trading around what the candlesticks are doing around the Rexdog indicators and other rules. But right now, all you need to get, because we're in the basics of candlestick reading, is that you just need to understand open, high, low, and close. So the name of that is OHLC. So whenever you see that acronym, this OH, that stands for open, high, low, close.
Okay.
That's not the order of importance. The most important one is the close. And it doesn't mean that it opens and it goes to the high and then it goes to the low. It could open, hit a low, come back up, hit a high, and then close.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is, what I want you to do, because I want to take you to the next step, is I'd like you to, what I do is we're going to take a 1 hour candle. And we're going to take the most recent 1 hour candle. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have you get in the driver's seat, and I'm going to have you outline the open, high, low, and close. And then we're going to go to a 5 minute candle, and you're going to see how that plays a role in that 5 minute candle.
Okay.
So you're going to lead in trading view, so let's do that.
All right.
Okay, so let's just take the latest candle, and what I want you to do is it's maybe scroll in a little bit, so when you go to the price line over there, and then just scroll up. So make it bigger.
Okay.
So, this candle is not the best candle to use because it's being formed right now, but it'll actually be illustrative of what we're going to cover. So take the fourth tool there, which is the horizontal ray.
Okay.
And then identify the open of this candle, the current green candle that's currently being formed.
Okay.
So which candle is that?
For the open?
Well, no, which candle is the current candle?
Oh, right here.
Yeah. So that candle, what time did it start?
2000.
Yeah. So now put a line at the open.
Okay.
Okay. Now put a line at what. Keep in mind this candle's still forming, so that's not the actual close, but that's the current price. So put a line at the close, but it's still being formed, so it's the current price.
Okay.
Yeah. So approximate is good. Now put a level at the high. If there was a low here, we'd put that at a low. Okay.
All right.
Now go to the 5 minute. Click 5 minute.
Up here.
Now click auto down at the bottom right. Perfect. Now find the tool up there that says vertical. It looks like a vertical line. Yeah, and then find 2000.
All right.
So I want to go one candle over.
Okay.
And then, because that 2000 is the first candle of this. So that candle to the end of candle is the 5 minute candle in the 1 hour candle we just identified. The 5 minute candles.
Okay.
So it's the same rules. You have the high, low, close, open for every candle. And this candle still has 3 minutes and 24 seconds. So you can go to the 1 minute. And then do auto, yeah. So or you probably want to go to the price line so you can see it. So let's scrunch it up. So now you can see, what is it trying to do?
Oh, it's going down.
Yeah, so what's that bottom level? Because there was no low, right?
Yeah.
It just was really what would it be?
This down here?
What's the bottom yellow line? What would that be in reference to the 1 hour candle?
Oh, that was the open.
Yeah. So what this current candle is trying to do right now, based on what you see here, is it's trying to maybe test the open of the 1 hour candle.
Okay.
You see that?
Yeah.
Now you see how now let's say that it stops here and then it keeps going green. That's when you're going to see a wick develop on the 1 hour candle.
Okay.
So part of this is that you have to have chart time. You have to watch this stuff. The other thing that you can do that's pretty powerful is go back to the 1 hour time frame.
All right.
And then click auto. Then that little button of that little box down there, click that. You're going to open up another chart.
Whoa.
And now you're looking at, the left is the 1 hour time frame, and then the right you're looking at the 5 minute time frame.
Okay.
So you could even go to the right chart and select 1 minute or 15 minute. So if you do 15 minute, each candle will be what?
15 minutes.
Yeah. So, and you read the candles the same way, where you have the open, high, low, and close.
Okay.
So that's really the basics of this. Now, but what I want to do now is let's go to a single chart. Yeah, so now let's start at the weekly time frame. Yeah, perfect. So you can go there, see that trash over on the left? The trash can?
Oh, right here?
Yeah, click that. And then remove all 8 drawings. So you're removing all the drawings.
Okay.
So the day, I was going to say, well, you'll see that day, scroll in a little bit. I just want to, so do control, scroll in right where that, just so we can really see the candles. Okay, now do it on the price line. Like I said, now do it up.
Oh, okay, so scrunch and this like widens it.
Yeah, so like I said, the tool's great, but also you're doing a lot of this stuff, and I'm sure there's probably shortcuts or something. But what could you say about the current candle, what it's doing in relation to the other candles, the one left to it? What is it trying to do?
It's going up.
Okay, but the one right next to the current green candle, what is it trying to do right now that's probably noticeable around the candle to the left?
You're talking about this candle right here?
Yes.
It's going higher than it?
It's going higher than what?
The high?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it higher than the close?
Yes.
Is it higher than that open?
It's like on the same line.
No, it's not.
Or it's higher than the high, sorry. But
yeah,
it's higher than the open, yes.
Is it higher than the open of that red candle?
Yes.
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to put a line on the open of that red candle. Do it right on the candle so that you kind of know where it starts.
Like on the end?
Yeah, right there, yeah. Okay. Kind of be as close as possible on the open, so a little bit down. I know it's a little hard.
Yeah.
So.
Struggling.
Yeah, perfect. That's good right there. Just click it. Okay, now what I want you to do is drop down to a 1 hour chart and click auto. Sorry.
Oh, good.
So what is that line that you drew?
That line was the last open, right?
Of what?
The 15-minute chart?
No. What day? What time frame were we on?
Oh, the week.
No.
Wasn't it the week?
Oh, was it the week?
Yeah, we were the week, right?
Okay, we're on the week? Yeah, sorry.
Right, was it? Yeah, it was.
Okay. Well, I thought we were on the day. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Yeah. So what was that line that we drew?
That was the open for the week.
Now, if you don't label these things, it's hard to see it is, okay?
Yeah.
So that was the open for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing you could look at is say, okay, the week opened at this certain level, and then when the week open was captured by price, by buyers, it then held up. So that's one important level that you would watch is the weekly open. Like where is priced in relation to the weekly open, or the previous week open, I should say, and the current week open.
Okay.
All right. So I'm introducing to you a little bit more advanced concepts. I want you to start thinking in 4D chess around
like
patterns, but also what the candles, because the next video we're going to talk about how the next candle is actually a reaction to the previous candle.
Okay.
And then and so on, and then you can start looking at patterns, and then you can start seeing what is the chart. A phrase I use a lot is called the story of the chart. That's basically what is the chart telling you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So go to a day, a D.
We're on Ethereum too.
Oh, so how do we get on Ethereum?
I don't know.
Okay.
Should I go to Bitcoin?
Yeah. But how do we get, so go back to Ethereum. I don't know how we got on Ethereum. I don't know how that happened. Okay, that's fine. We'll keep it in the video. Okay, now go back to the chart.
No.
It's the last one, yeah.
Okay.
So now go to a daily chart. So that day chart, you can see that the previous day, what did the previous day do according to that line that you drew? What was that line that you drew?
That was the open for the week.
The previous week.
The previous week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did this day do?
It went up.
It went above.
Yeah, it went
the
above.
previous week, and it closed pretty solidly above it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's the next day doing?
It's also
continuing.
Yeah, going above.
But what does it have above it? The current candle.
This one? Oh,
yeah.
High.
Yeah. And then what would that be called? What are phrases that I've used on what that is called?
The wick?
Yeah. Also, there's another word that people use that is it's kind of more like what the buyers and sellers are happening. So,
Rejection?
yes, exactly.
Okay.
So basically, the way to look at it is
Sorry, I was
the
confused.
buyers brought it up there, and the sellers stepped in,
Mm-hmm.
and the sellers started selling. Or some of the buyers that bought lower started selling. You don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
So does that make sense? Is
Because
that
it went
clear?
up there and then
Yeah.
it got rejected and did not close at that price. It closed.
Well, it's still you can if this is an option, you can have it where it tells you when it's going to close.
Mhm.
So you can see this current day still has
it's the day,
21
yeah.
hours to close.
Yeah.
So, but what you can do is then you can get into the 1 hour time frame. You can go to the 4 hour.
And
So-
that kind of explains more. And
It,
What's
it,
happening?
it gives you a different time perspective. So I don't know why that shows up and it's not highlighting our thing. So now go to the 4 hour. That's also called the 240 chart because it's 240. It's 60 minutes times 4. 240.
okay,
So you'll see me often say 240 instead of 4 hour. I just like 240 better.
okay,
That's also how it's represented in the code too. It's not called the 4 hours. It's called the 240. So minute point. So each one of these candles. What is each one of these candles now that we're on 4H?
oh, 4 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, these blue lines mean something.
Yeah. So those are sessions. So those are when the session changes. I probably remove those on most of my charts because I don't really look at them anymore. But there's certain charts where it's helpful, like the futures charts and everything else. But this chart here, it's not that helpful because Ethereum and Bitcoin, they trade 24 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a market that trades 24 hours a day. So you're going to have 24 candles in a daily candle, or 24 hourly candles in a daily candle. Does that make sense?
Yes.
How many 4 hour candles would you have in a daily candle?
8,
What's 4 times 8?
24.
4 times 8 is 24.
Or that's 3. Sorry.
I know
Oh,
you're tired.
okay. Yeah, is it? So
there's-
6 times 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. I'm just so focused.
I know, there's no problem. But so it's 6 hour. There's 6 4 hour candles
Mm-hmm.
in a day. Same with 2 hour candles. There's 12 2 hour candles in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you could even do custom candles. You could do I want an hour and 33 minutes if you really wanted to. Okay.
Okay.
So before we wrap up and we move on to advanced candlestick analysis, do you understand the basics of reading a candle? Was I clear? Just go through a red candle now and just tell me, take a big red candle, or see if you can find a candle that has both wicks on both sides. So there's one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just briefly walk me through a red candle. Just show me it. I mean, you don't have to put the lines if you don't want to, but you can just click where it's at. So.
Okay. Well, this would be the high.
Mm-hmm.
This would be the close.
No.
Or the open.
Yeah.
This is the opposite.
Yeah.
And then the close.
Yeah.
And then low.
Yeah, and like I said, this is at first I didn't think I was going to be able to look at candlestick charts and just be able to read them like reading a book. But now I can read them and I can clearly see it. And it's time. It takes time. It takes chart time. It takes experience. But you have the basics of at least what it is. Okay?
Okay.
So let's move on to the next video. The next video, what we're going to do is we're going to build upon we're going to build upon what happens after a candle close. We're going to talk about how you look at what happens next.
Okay.
All right?
Sounds good.
Sweet.
Yacht.